Welcome to Ultimate Python course of 101 awesome must-know programs. So are you ready for today's lesson? Let's start with problem number 2. Write a program to calculate average of three numbers. Let's see how we can solve this problem in 3 steps. So our step number 1, we will input 3 numbers from the user. In step number 2, we will calculate the average of these 3 numbers using expression. And step number 3, we will display the result. So in the same fashion we have done in the first problem, we will learn to take input from the user. Today we will see how we can take float numbers or we can take integer numbers from the user. Then we will use a mathematical expression to calculate the average of these 3 numbers. And then we will use the print function to display the result to the users. Let's have a quick look to the code and then we will apply this code into the VS Code. So like in the first problem, we will be using the input function to accept the user inputted numbers. So we'll take this 3 times. We'll use the input function 3 times as we want to input 3 numbers. In the first problem, we had taken float. So here we also take float, but we will also see how this can be done with the integers as well. And then we will be using these 3 variables, num1, num2, and num3 to store these 3 numbers. Now we need to have the average. So to get the average, first we will evaluate the sum of these 3 numbers using the plus operator. And then the sum is divided by 3 to get the average of these 3 numbers. And once we have got the average, we'll store it in the average variable and this will be printed to the user using the print function. Here we'll be using the formatted print function so that we can merge together the message and the variables in the same print function. So here we have created all these files. First session we had created the first 1.py where we had seen how we can calculate the area of circle. And today we will see the average of these 3 numbers. In the first step, we will take input and then we will mention the message enter first number. And we need to store the result into the num1 variable. You can have any variable, and if we want to get the float number from the user, then we'll use float as a typecaster. So we'll typecast the input value into float. We'll repeat this and we'll do it for num2, and similarly we'll do it for num3 as well. So this is num2 and num3. We'll change the name of the variables. Here it is num2 and here we'll write second number. So this is second number, and here I'll write num3 to store the third number, and I'll write here third number. So in this way we'll ask 3 numbers from the user. Now we need to perform the second step, that is we need to have the average. So we'll use another variable average and then we'll perform the sum of these 3 numbers first. So num1, then we'll have plus, num2, then we'll again have plus, and this is num3. So we have added all these 3 numbers and this sum needs to be divided by 3 as we have 3 numbers. So this will calculate the average and the resultant will be stored in the variable average. Now we need to print this. So we can simply write print and then we can have a formatted printing, and here we can write the average of 3 numbers is, and then we can have curly brackets to print the average. So we'll write average inside the curly bracket. We can also format the decimal points here, but let me write it like this. So we will just click on this run button and it is asking us to enter the first number. As we have taken float, we can give decimal numbers here. Let me give a decimal number, let's say 4.5, then I'll give 5.5, and then I'll give 6.5. And now here we can say the average of 3 numbers is 5.5. This is also coming into the decimal. Now let's see if we want to take integer numbers only, then here I will replace this float by int. So what are the integers? That is without any decimal number. So if it is 4, that is an integer. If you have taken all integer numbers, then let me execute this and see what result we are getting. So here enter first number. If I'll write 4.5, here we are getting the error because we have taken integer. So we need to give integer as input. So again, I'll execute this and this time I'll give only 4 and I'll give only 5, that is I'm giving integers, and then it will give us the average of 3 numbers is 5.0. So here in this lesson we have learned how to take user input, how to use mathematical expressions, and how to use the printed calculation to the user. After going through these 2 lessons, I hope you all are aware about how to take input in Python, how to use mathematical expressions, and how to print messages and variables to the user. I have a request from all my viewers. Please mention in the comment box that what is your goal to learn Python. I would also like to know about my viewers in the comment box. So please mention your country. Are you a student or you are a professional? You are a programmer, you are a learner, a tutor. I would like to know about you and I can modify this course according to your need. This journey is going to be very exciting and learning journey, and you will be a Python pro after all these 101 programs. So have a nice day. We'll meet in the third problem. Do not forget to subscribe the channel so you do not miss any of these problems.